There's headed by Morena, and it's 2-1 to Arsenal.
Look at that pass! Goal for Manchester City!
Takes this corner, whips it in, it's headed and it's a goal, and it's that man, Gabriel.
Liverpool have equalised. Lovely improvisational touch from Curtis Jones.
Oh, what a goal! Wow, take it out!
Good afternoon and welcome to a rainy North London as Arsenal take on Ipswich Town at the Emirates Stadium. Just before we get into this today, we've got some news for you out of the Bet365 Stadium. Stoke City have parted company with their head coach Narcis Pilac. He leaves the position. Stoke City are now on the lookout for another manager. So interesting news coming out today regarding that. So for today's game, however, with 16 of the last 32 teams to top the table on Christmas Day going on to ultimately win the title, history would suggest third place Arsenal have no more than a 50% chance of overthrowing the 6-point gap to Liverpool. The Gunners themselves account for 4 of the failures to lift the trophy after leading at Christmas, so they know firsthand that the title race is far from run. And a 5-1 win away to Crystal Palace at the weekend ensures they didn't lose any further ground. The win in South London, though, did come at a major cost, as Bukayo Saka was forced off with an injury that had boss Mikel Arteta, quote-unquote, pretty worried. Losing their talisman ahead of the busy festive period certainly isn't ideal preparation for the first league meeting with Ipswich Town since April 2002. After losing 4-0 at home to Newcastle United at the weekend, a trip to face title-cursing Arsenal certainly wouldn't have been high on Kieran McKenna's Christmas wish list. That's the reality Ipswich face, but hitting the road may not necessarily be a bad thing given they've averaged 1 point per game in the Premier League away matches this season, as opposed to just 0.44 at home. Their 0.56 differential is the biggest in the league in favour of playing away. The Tractor Boys have actually won 2 of their last 3 away games too, and one of them came not too far from here with a 2-1 win at Tottenham in mid-November. So the players are gathered in the centre circle, in the tunnel right now. They're just about ready to come out. We might as well run through the team changes for you very quickly. For Arsenal, well, obviously the forced change of Bukayo Saka means that Leandro Trossard steps out and plays on the right side of the front line. Declan Rice is also back as Thomas Partey steps onto the bench. So the 2 changes for Arsenal means Mikel Arteta lines up like this with a 4-3-3 formation. David Raya in goal as usual. Miles Lewis-Skelly keeps his place at left back with Gabriel and William Saliba at centre back. Jurrien Timmer on the right side. Kai Havertz drops back into midfield, and the left side Declan Rice and captain Martin Odegaard. The 3 on the front are Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus and Leandro Trossard. And for Ipswich Town, well, given the changes that they've had to make following the heavy defeat to Newcastle, 5 changes. Cameron Burgess, Harry Clark, Sam Moresby, Wes Burns and Connor Chaplin all miss out. Luke Wolfenden, Jacob Greaves, Calvin Phillips, Ben Johnson and Liam Delap come in. And Kieran McKenna has chose to play a 4-2-3-1 formation, and they line up like this with Ariane Muric in goal, Leif Davis, Luke Wolfden, Jacob Greaves and Dara O'Shea, the captain. That's the defensive line. Jens Kahuste and Calvin Phillips are in holding midfield role with Sammy Schmodix, Omari Hutchinson, Ben Johnson behind leading scorer Liam Delap. The substitutes for Arsenal is they have the backup goalkeeper of NATO, Kieran Tierney, Jacob Kivior, Alexander Zinchenko, and Ricardo Calafiori on his way back from injury, Thomas Partey, Jorginho, Mikel Morena and Ethan Nwaneri as Mikel Arteta has chosen to name no recognised forwards on the bench. For Ipswich, however, they've gone with Christian Walton, the backup goalkeeper, Harry Clark, Connor Townsend, Jack Taylor, Wes Burns, Connor Chaplin, Ali Al-Hamadi, Nathan Broadhead and Jack Clark are the substitutes. Our referee today is Darren England. He's 39 and he's from Doncaster. Wade Smith and Akil Howson are on the lines. The fourth official is Lewis Smith with Alex Chilovitz and Adam Nunn in Stockley Park should we need them today. The league record between these two teams, well, they've met each other 59 times and it's been wholly controlled by Arsenal with 30 wins, 11 draws and 18 losses. And currently running at a 2.6 goals per game for the last 5 league matches for Arsenal. And a goals against in the last 5 league games is 0.8. And no a win away for Ipswich in the league since 1979. That is the size of the task facing Ipswich today. The last victory came in 1979 with a 2-0 victory. But today they are hoping to change that and get a much needed win to try to help them get to safety. The players are just doing their final preparations right now. And it's a rainy evening in London, as that should add to the splendour of the game. We may well see some very interesting plays from both teams on this damp surface. Ipswich Town currently just doing their final preparations, and we just seem to be running a few minutes behind here. So we'll wait and see now as the referees wanting to get the players to the centre circle. Looking at those Arsenal fans, looking very excited right now. They're in a great run of form. They've won, they're undefeated in their last 5, including a total amount of goals scored in that time of 13 goals. Well, with only 4 against, they are running at a very, very healthy rate right now. And Ipswich, on the other hand, of course, they've only 1 win in 5 as the game is underway. And Ipswich get the game underway in their blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks, attacking the goal to our left. Arsenal in their red shirts, white shorts and red socks, as both in their traditional colours here. And right now here is Calvin Phillips, gives the ball to Leif Davis, he swings it in, and there was a touch almost by Sammy Schmadix. He almost turned the ball into the net and Arsenal nearly had a shocking start. And here's Martinelli now, Leandro Trossard, down to Jurien Timmer, down to Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli appears to be playing on the right side the start of this game. Martinelli trying to get to the byline here, swings across towards the back post. And the head goes up. It's just headed away that time by Ben Johnson, as Arsenal continue now with Declan Rice on the attack. Just drops the ball there to Saliba. Saliba drops it out wide to Martinelli. Martinelli just holds the ball up on the corner of the penalty area on the right-hand side, drops it back to Jurien Timmer. Timmer just drops the ball there to Saliba. Across to Gabriel. Gabriel plays a good ball to Miles Lewis-Skelly, and it's picked up there by Jesus. And the ball is dropped down again to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Back to Gabriel. Gabriel just holds the ball up and gives it back to Saliba. Arsenal making their way back to the halfway line here, being pressed back a little bit by Ipswich. Just outside the centre circle here is Timber, and he just drops the ball back into the centre circle. Back to Timber again. Timber almost on the halfway line, just drops it again. Arsenal slow build up as Ipswich started incredibly fast. Here's Lewis-Skelly. Rice goes a long ball over to the right hand side to Martinelli. Martinelli plays the ball in there. He's got Leif Davis in front of him. Oh, that's really, really good defending by Greaves. And it's won back by Odegaard, however, as Arsenal now continue to maintain possession. It's Martin Odegaard outside of the boot, flicked forward, looking for Kai Havertz. Havertz keeps the ball in, plays it into the box, but nobody there but Dara O'Shea, who hacks the ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. and picked up. The throw was taken quickly to Havertz, who gives it back to Odegaard. Odegaard tries to find Timmer again. It's won back by Havertz, but he only successfully gives the ball away there, and it was given straight to Liam Delap, and he goes down under the challenge by Kai Havertz, and it's going to be a free kick to. As we look again at that, just touched the ball there. If he'd have got anything on that, Sammy Schmodix, he might have been able to divert that past David Raya. And so early within the space of a minute, we could have had Ipswich taking the lead. So the free kick is going to be taken now. And it's going to be taken by Jacob Greaves. He goes long over to the right-hand side, just looking for Ben Johnson there. But it's picked up instead by Leandro Trossard. Trossard goes all the way back to David Raya. As Raya attempts to start the build out slowly to Gabriel. Here's Miles Lewis-Skelly. Lewis-Skelly gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice, long ball over on the right side, looking for Gabriel Martinelli, but that's just away from the Brazilian and goes out of play for a throw into Ipswich Town. I want to thank you very much for tuning into this game today at the Emirates. Arsenal versus Ipswich. It's a massive game for both clubs for different reasons, of course. Arsenal need to win this to try to stay in touch with Liverpool, and Ipswich, well, they're desperate for points as they try to get away from the bottom three right now, especially with Wolves beating Manchester United on Boxing Day. The ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. Looks like it came off Liam Delap last, so actually, no, that actually came off William Saliba last, but Arsenal given the throw-in nevertheless. And it goes back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya plays it to William Saliba, and Saliba plays the ball inside to Lewis-Skelly. And it's back to the goalkeeper, David Raya, as Arsenal just patiently building from the back. And David Raya is going to go long this time. He's looking for Kai Havertz. Havertz nipping in there and winning that is Gabriel Jesus. That was well done. And the ball is tried to be played through there for Gabriel to Jesus, but it just didn't find him. It's now with Martin Odegaard. Odegaard to Martinelli. Can he get to the byline? Gabriel Martinelli. He does. Gets across to the back post, and it's headed behind that time by Luke Wolfenden, and it's going to be a corner ball. And, well, this is a good play by Martinelli. Gets to the byline, gets that cross in. Just away from Jesus and headed behind by Luke Wolfenden, and it's going to be a corner to Arsenal, and they're going to set up in their usual way, which means that the four that are at the corner of the 6-yard box are currently being monitored very carefully by 5 Ipswich players. So we're going to see how this works out as the corner is going to be whipped in. I'm just trying to see who's going to take it. It's probably going to be Declan Rice over on that far side that's going to take it. Calvin Phillips also in there as well. And you've got Saliba on the back post, and they'll all flood into the 6-yard box and put Muric under pressure. But let's see how this goes. The corner comes in by Rice. The heads go up. Muric comes for it, but doesn't get there. It's back to Odegaard. Oh, and he miscues that. Does Martin Odegaard. And it's cleared away by Dara O'Shea and picked up here by Leandro Trossard. And Trossard plays the ball down the right-hand side to Martinelli. Good challenge that time. That was a good piece of defending that time by Leif Davis. It's now with Saliba. Saliba gives the ball to Rice. Back to Saliba. Here's Odegaard again. Odegaard holds the ball up and drops it back to William Saliba, who goes across to his central defensive partner, Gabriel. Down the left-hand side, and here is Trossard. Trossard just trying to get away there from Dara O'Shea, but that's a really good piece of defending by Dara O'Shea. Over on the right-hand side today, former Burnley player just made a really good challenge there as Arsenal now maintain possession and are, again, trying to torment that Ipswich Town defence. It's picked up here by Gabriel. He drops it to Rice. Rice drops it to Trossard. Trossard waiting, decides not to get the crossing, gives it to Gabriel. And here is number 2 there, William Saliba. Saliba gives the ball to Gabriel and again gives it to Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's fouled that time by Ben Johnson, and it's going to be a free kick to the Arsenal. Ben Johnson just had his hands all over Miles Lewis-Skelly there. No question about it being a free kick. Question is whether or not the yellow card should have been shown at that point. We've seen the card flashed plenty of times for that very reason. The free kick is going to be taken just a yard or two in from the touchline, as it's going to be Martin Odegaard standing over this. I'd say it's actually more along the lines of 6 or 7 yards in from the touchline. Odegaard, he tried to play it through to Leandro Trossard short, but that was read superbly well there. And fantastic play that time by Jens Kahuste. It's back with the goalkeeper now, Murik. Murik plays the ball forward looking for Leif Davis. Leif Davis under pressure by Jurien Timmer. Timmer wins the ball back comfortably and gives it to Declan Rice, who feeds Gabriel Martinelli. Back to Timber. Timber to Odegaard. Odegaard again. Just drops the ball back to Jurien Timmer and Odegaard. Odegaard drops the ball there back to Saliba. Saliba plays it back into the centre circle to Gabriel. Cross to Lewis-Skelly. We've had 9 minutes gone here, and it's Arsenal 0, Ipswich Town 0 at the Emirates Stadium in London. And it's back with the number 2, William Saliba, and he passes it back to Kai Havertz, as Arsenal being pressed back a little bit by Ipswich today. Despite a lot of the early possession, Arsenal haven't created much really so far. Here's Gabriel. He plays the ball out wide to the left-hand side to Leandro Trossard. Trossard skips into the middle, just inside the centre circle. Gives the ball there to William Saliba again. And here's Declan Rice. Gives it to Odegaard. Odegaard to Kai Havertz. Havertz drops the ball down there to Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball over to Miles Lewis-Skelly. There's a patient build-up by Arsenal midway inside the Ipswich Town half of the field. And Gabriel tries to play the ball through there to Martin Odegaard, but that was a very simple ball play through, and Amari Hutchinson just got in the way of that one. And now Arsenal still maintain possession. The referee says play on, despite the foul on Gabriel. Here is Timber. Timber just tries to find Gabriel Martinelli, but nipping in there is Sammy Schmodic, as Ipswich working hard all over the field to win the ball back. Gabriel Martinelli now with the throw-in. We've had just 10 minutes gone here, and 0-0. I want to thank you again for taking time to join us today. Obviously, we know you're very busy around this time of year. We really appreciate you spending your time with us today to listen to this game. Hope you enjoy it. Here is Jurien Timber with the throw-in. Calvin Davis back today for Ipswich Town. Here is Declan Rice. Declan Rice played into the middle of the park. Gives it to Gabriel. Miles Lewis-Skelly now looking for options left and right. He drops it to Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball forward to Kai Havertz. Havertz, it's almost behind Miles Lewis-Skelly, but he maintains possession. Here's Trossard looking to get the ball into the box. He drops it short here to Gabriel. And Trossard again, back to Gabriel. Arsenal trying to be cute here, but so far Ipswich are just reading this and playing very, very well defensively right now. Here is Odegaard across to Declan Rice. Odegaard again just lays the ball off there to Saliba. Saliba across to Gabriel. Gabriel is on the halfway line, and there's another game going on in the league, the Premier League this evening as well. It's half-time currently at the Amex Stadium. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Brentford 0. We'll keep you updated there as Gabriel Martinelli gives the ball away to Amari Hutchinson. But coming back and winning that is Kai Havertz. Good work by the German there. He drops the ball back to Gabriel, and Gabriel plays it to Miles Lewis-Skelly. It's just over the halfway line as Arsenal breaking forward in numbers now. As here's Trossard. Trossard. Jurien Timmer. Timmer just drops the ball back there to the number 2 Saliba. The ball is played forward, laid off by Gabriel Jesus. He was looking for Declan Rice there, but once again that was read really well, this time by Jacob Greaves. as he got the ball back to Muric, who hammers the ball downfield. And so far, the Arsenal have maintained an 85% possession in this first half, but haven't really done anything with it. Schmodix just tries to get ahead of Timber, but he doesn't make it. Timber gets there first. Here's Declan Rice. Rice, good ball to Martinelli down on the right-hand side. Martinelli trying to skip away from Leif Davis. It goes all the way back there to the number 41, Declan Rice. He plays it back into his own half of the field. Arsenal, of course, undefeated in 5. They dropped points against Everton and Fulham, home and away. But a big win over Crystal Palace in South London. The ball is played long forward to Jesus. Jesus in the penalty area. It's played across to Leandro Trossard, played back to Odegaard. And now Gabriel, back to Odegaard, back to Trossard again. The shot this time is blocked. And it looks like the shot was blocked by Calvin Phillips there as it goes behind. But I feel here that perhaps Leandro Trossard should have shot earlier when he had the chance. Straight from the pass from Jesus, that shot should have been on. And it gave Ipswich the chance to come back and get their defence organised. And in the end, the shot was well blocked by Calvin Davis. And it's going to be another corner to Arsenal, though. As once again, the same setup for Arsenal. The 5 players on the corner of the 6-yard box, marked with 4 of them from Ipswich, including Jens Kahuste and Leif Davis, as these Arsenal players will now make their way into the 6-yard box. The cross comes in, it goes over everybody's head, and the header is laid off there to Odegaard from the number 19, Leandro Trossard. It goes back to Trossard. Trossard gets the cross in. The header was won by Davis, and it finds Amari Hutchinson. He's able to just bring the ball under control, but he's under a lot of pressure from Declan Rice. And Amari Hutchinson's going to get dispossessed here. And Gabriel now has the ball. He's taking it into the corner flag, being wrestled over by Calvin Phillips, but the ball has broke loose for Arsenal. Here's Odegaard on the edge of the area. Odegaard just drops the ball out wide there to Gabriel. It's now with Declan Rice, who swings across in this time. It's headed away by Leif Davis to the edge of the area. And the ball is played forward by Sammy Schmodix, but he puts it out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in to Arsenal. Well, 0-0 the score. To be honest with you, there's not been much in the first 15 minutes, despite all the possession Arsenal have had. Ipswich have really defended very resolutely. 54 passes in the final third for Arsenal, 2 for Ipswich. Gives you some idea just how lopsided this game is at the moment. As here is Timber. Timber inside the centre circle there to Saliba. Saliba drops the ball to the captain, Martin Odegaard. Odegaard now looking for options. He gives the ball to Martinelli. Martinelli drops the ball there to Timber. As Arsenal once again slowly, patiently building up, trying to break down this Ipswich Town wall of defenders. Almost a full team in and around the 18-yard box. And here is Timber. He gives the ball to Odegaard. And Odegaard now, let's see what he can do. Pulls the ball back to Timber. Here's Martinelli. He's got Davis in front of him. Davis has done a really good job on Martinelli so far, and once again wins that challenge very, very well. He goes down under the challenge of Gabriel Martinelli. There did not appear to be a lot in that, but the referee has given the free kick. Darren England, our referee from Doncaster in South Yorkshire, as Jens Kahuste just getting some additional instructions really there from Kieran McKenna. Right now this defensive line for Ipswich has really shut Arsenal down. It's a free kick to Ipswich now, which Muric, the goalkeeper, will take. The former Burnley goalkeeper launches it downfield. And up in the air trying to win that one is Liam Delap, but it breaks to Gabriel Martinelli. But it's won back really well by Kahuste, but Kahuste is alleged to have fouled one of the Arsenal players, just not quite sure who that is, but it's taken quickly as a free kick, as this game continues to be going at a pretty decent pace right now. And here's Timber. Timber just holds the ball up and plays it back into his own half across to Gabriel, and he plays the ball forward to Declan Rice. Declan Rice has got options left and right. He goes behind him to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Saliba, looking for the longer ball. He decides to go across to Lewis-Skelly. Lewis-Skelly has got Declan Rice alongside him. Decides to go to the safe option with Declan Rice. Here's Saliba again. Timber just holds up as really depressing Arsenal back here, making it very difficult for Arsenal to get anywhere near the 18-yard box. As here's Lewis-Skelly right now. Gives the ball back there to Gabriel. Good ball to Saliba. And here's Martinelli. Let's see what tricks he's got up his sleeve. He plays the ball short. Here's Kai Havertz. Havertz plays the ball across and Odegaard fails to control it, but it breaks the clearance, only goes as far as Declan Rice. And now here's Lewis-Skelly. As once again, that defensive line of Ipswich just making it almost impossible for Arsenal to find a way through. As Gabriel just plays the ball back to Saliba. It's now with Timber. Midway inside the Ipswich half. Timber going on a run here. Timber with a shot. And it's a straightforward save by Muric right at him. But just for a moment there, the goalkeeper, Jurrien Timber found his way through. Bit of a gap in that defence just for a moment. It was enough for him to call through and have a shot. But it was a comfortable save in the end for the Kosovan goalkeeper. And 19 minutes gone. It's Arsenal 0, Ipswich 0. And, well, Ipswich, you have to say, very impressive start to this game as Akilhausen, the assistant on the far side, raises his flag. And there is Saliba. Saliba drops the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel over the halfway line. Gets it back from Miles Lewis-Skelly. As here is Saliba, just inside his own half of the field. Gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel holds the ball up to Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's just inside the centre circle here. And drops the ball there to the number 2, Saliba. Arsenal across there to Gabriel. And now to Leandro Trossard. He's got Johnson in front of him. And he cuts to the middle. He's tripped there. Surely that's going to be a free kick for the foul by Amari Hutchinson. The referee's waving play on though. Here's Leandro Trossard, lifts the ball into the penalty area. Martinelli goes up. It's headed out only as far as Timber, who tries to head it down to Martinelli again. Martinelli just trying to get away from Leif Davis one more time as he drops the ball back here to the number 2, William Saliba. Across here to Gabriel Martinelli. Martinelli into the centre circle to Gabriel. Good ball across here to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Arsenal breaking forward now, trying to get numbers into the penalty area. It's Leandro Trossard. Gabriel, back to Trossard again. Corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Oh, he only played it as far as Schmadix, who just hacked the ball out of play. And it's going to be another throw-in to Arsenal. As Mikel Arteta talking to his coaching staff. Here's Declan Rice. 21 minutes gone here. And the ball is with Saliba, just inside the centre circle. And it's with Timber. Back to Saliba again. Saliba out wide to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard cutting into the middle here. It's midway inside the Ipswich half of the field. Gives the ball to Timber. And now it's Martinelli. Martinelli does a quick 1-2 there with Jesus. Martinelli holds the ball up well, gives the ball back to Jesus. Jesus tries to find Odegaard, but that's won back by Sammy Schmadix. And Schmadix again, just trying to get the ball back to Leif Davis, but he gives the ball away instead. And Ipswich struggling to clear the ball now. The ball breaks loose to the edge of the area. Declan Rice puts his foot on the ball. Gives it to Timber and across here to Gabriel. Gabriel to Leandro Trossard. Trossard swings the ball in, the heads go up. It's headed out to the edge of the area, only as far as Odegaard, who kicks the ball up in the air. Trying to head that down is Declan Rice. And now here's Martinelli again. He's got Gabriel, he's got Timber overlapping. Gabriel Martinelli gets the cross in, over to the back post to Leandro Trossard. Trossard inside the penalty area, tries to get the ball in the cross, and there's Havertz! And it's 1-0 to Arsenal. And it's Kai Havertz on 23 minutes with the goal. And in the end, it was routine by Arsenal, as what has been a very solid Ipswich defence collapses here. The cross on the right-hand side coming in from Leandro Trossard. And there was Kai Havertz to just tap the ball home. And it starts from a really patient build-up with Martinelli. His cross was only headed out there by Wolfenden to the edge of the corner of the penalty area. The cross came in from Trossard, and there was Kai Havertz, and that will be one of the easiest goals he scores this season. Poor defending by Ipswich that time, and Arsenal are in the lead by a 1-0. Kai Havertz on 23 minutes. Well, let's be interesting to see now. Ipswich Town will have to open up now, as we'll see just how they respond to this goal. It'll certainly be interesting. I feel that that's what the game really needed. We've got a comment in the comment section. Cutting cross, very tidy finish from Kai. Thanks, Luke. Hope you're enjoying the show. And the ball is now with Arsenal inside their own 6-yard box. A little bit of panicking, and they gave the ball away there. Picked up there by Schmodix, who drops it back into his own half there to Greaves, and Greaves gives the ball there to Wolfenden. Wolfenden across to Dara O'Shea. Dara O'Shea plays it out. It's a throw-in for Ipswich, as that one came off Leandro Trossard. And it's going to be a throw-in for the Tractor Boys, as they will now have to come forward and try to get themselves back into this game at the Emirates, as Kieran McKenna will be, I suspect, will be quite disappointing with the defending there for that first goal. The ball is played forward there, and header won well there by Wolfenden. Wolfenden dropped it back to Dara O'Shea. Dara O'Shea plays it off Leandro Trossard again, and it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in. We've had 25 minutes gone here at the Emirates. It's 1-0 in this game, and in the other game, it's still 0-0 at the Amex Stadium between Brighton and Hove Albion and Brentford. Gabriel drops the ball to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Lewis-Skelly drops the ball back into his own half again and gives the ball to Saliba, and Saliba gives it to Jurien Timmer. Timmer again holds the ball up. Saliba. And it's a good ball to Gabriel. Gabriel, that's a decent pass out wide there to Miles Lewis-Skelly. And he's got options left and right. He decides to go to Kai Havertz, the scorer of the goal. And back again to Miles Lewis-Skelly there from Gabriel. It's now with Saliba. Saliba to Gabriel. Gabriel, Lewis-Skelly, stumbling on the ball, but he manages to get the ball back to Saliba. And Gabriel tries to lift the ball forward, looking for Leandro Trossard, but Ben Johnson will just deal with that ball and drop it back to Dara O'Shea, who's under pressure from Gabriel Jesus. And Dara O'Shea just plays it off Jesus. It goes out of play. It's going to be an Ipswich Town throw-in, but it's right by that corner flag. And Arsenal continue to put the pressure on this Ipswich Town defence. And in fact, the throw-in has been given in Arsenal's favour, which is really interesting, because I thought that came off Gabriel Jesus. But it's a throw-in to Arsenal, and it's going to be taken by Gabriel. So it's level with the 6-yard box for Ipswich, level with the Ipswich 6-yard box. Throw-in taken quickly. Here's Saliba. And it's now with Gabriel. And here is Trossard. Just holds the ball up and plays it back to Gabriel. Declan Rice manages to get the ball back to Trossard, as Arsenal now just keeping possession, looking to once again break Ipswich down again. As here's Gabriel. Ball played forward to Declan Rice, and here is Timber. Timber, good ball to Odegaard, to Martinelli. Back to Odegaard. Odegaard across to Kai Havertz. Havertz, good ball to Jurien Timber. Timber gives the ball back there to Havertz. Timber again, getting away there from Schmodix. Good ball in the middle to Odegaard. Odegaard there just almost loses possession of the ball, but it's won back by Timber. Timber goes down in the area, no question of a penalty there. And Gabriel Jesus just knocks the ball out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Ipswich. But Arsenal continue to pile on the pressure. But so far it has to be said that Ipswich, despite the goal that they conceded, which in my opinion was pretty poor defending, they do seem to be working very, very hard defensively and playing really quite well under the circumstances, knowing that they're playing this Arsenal team that are chasing the title. They are making it hard work for the Gunners so far. And that ball is played back there by Calvin Phillips. And it's now with Dara O'Shea just over the halfway line. Ipswich making a rare venture into the Arsenal half of the field. Here is Calvin Davis, plays the ball back to the number 6, Luke Wolfenden, on the halfway line. Wolfenden, he's got options left and right. He can go with Greaves just on this near side. He's nobody really approaching him right now. He takes his time and does lay the ball off finally to Greaves, who gives the ball to Davis. Davis played forward to Delap, but Delap is dispossessed by Declan Rice. And now Arsenal have got possession again. And it's back with Gabriel to William Saliba. Saliba back to Gabriel. Gabriel just holds the ball up here. He's got options left and right, and he decides to go with Saliba. Here's Jurrien Timber. As Arsenal not really getting out of third gear here. And it's across there to Declan Rice. Now, Declan Rice drops the ball back there to Saliba, who gives it across to Timber. Timber just holding the ball up. As at the moment, it really is almost like a training session for Arsenal with in possession of this ball right now. Just knocking the ball about comfortably. Here's Miles Lewis-Skelly. And he gives the ball to Declan Rice. And there's other games. The other game going on today, we'll give you an update on that in a moment. Here is Odegaard, gives the ball to Kai Havertz. Havertz to Jesus. Through there to Havertz, back heel to Havertz, and Martinelli gives it to Havertz. Havertz goes down, comes back to Gabriel Jesus. And now to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Superb passing by Arsenal here. Here's Leandro Trossard. And it's back to Declan Rice. Rice with a shot, and it's just over the crossbar. But that is really good football by Arsenal. One touch play there as Leandro Trossard just laid the ball back to Gabriel, to Declan Rice there, and over the crossbar. But prior to that, the movement between Havertz, Jesus and Odegaard was dazzling, really. As it's a goal kick to Ipswich Town. So it's going to be Muric with the goal kick. He's going to launch this right-footed downfield. Taking his time. And down it goes. Up in the air. Flick on one there by Dara O'Shea, but the ball is played back into the Ipswich half of the field, and coming back chasing that is Dara O'Shea. And it's back to the goalkeeper from Calvin Phillips. Phillips releases it there to Kajuste. Kajuste to Davis. Davis for Ipswich Town. Drops the ball back there to Greaves. Across to Wolfenden. Wolfenden to Greaves. Greaves just turning away there from Odegaard, and it looks like he's going to go back to Muric. Muric just plays the ball across there to Wolfenden. Wolfenden plays the ball forward here to Amari Hutchinson, storming over the halfway line. Perhaps Ipswich can create something now. And here's Ben Johnson. Johnson trying to get away from Miles Lewis-Skelly. He gets the cross in, does Johnson, and plucked out of the air. David Raya just grabs that one with ease, it has to be said. And that brings that attack by Ipswich to an end. The other game is still 0-0 with 58 minutes gone at the Amex Stadium there. Brighton looking to keep in touch with the top 7. As here is Saliba. Saliba plays the ball across to Gabriel, right across the line of the 18-yard box. We've had 32 minutes gone here at the Emirates Stadium. It's Arsenal 1, Ipswich 0. David Raya just plays the ball across there to Saliba. Saliba to Gabriel. Gabriel to Miles Lewis-Skelly, as once again Arsenal will pass their way forward. Although at the moment they've just gone back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya may decide to go long here. In fact, he goes short to William Saliba. Once again, the passing making Liam Delap just chase around here. Playing in the number 9 role, Delap is going to be doing a lot of running tonight. Here's Lewis-Skelly as he plays the ball back to Gabriel, and it's back to the goalkeeper, David Raya, as Arsenal again just very patient build up here. David Raya, as he goes short again to Saliba, cross to Declan Rice, and here is Timber, and it's Lewis-Skelly across now to Gabriel to Leandro Trossard as Arsenal get over the halfway line. And it's now with Miles Lewis-Skelly as this slow build-up continues for Arsenal with Declan Rice. Cross to Gabriel and to Leandro Trossard. Midway inside the Ipswich half of the field, Miles Lewis-Skelly gives the ball back to Trossard. Trossard tries to play the ball through to Gabriel Jesus! It's in! It's 2-0! And it's the offside flag is up on the far side. The other assistant, Wade Smith, there just raised his flag. Yes, he ran way too early, did Gabriel Jesus. And it was such a tight angle, but it was a really wonderful finish, despite the tight angle. But he was in an offside position, and Gabriel Jesus looked at the flag and he's disappointed. Well, he's had 5 goals in his last 2 games against the same team, Crystal Palace. Once in the 2 in the league and 3 in the League Cup. Free kick taken by Muric downfield. Chasing it is Amari Hutchinson, but it's gone out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal. And it is 1-0 still to the Gunners. And the throw-in midway inside the Arsenal half of the field is going to be taken by Miles Lewis-Skelly. He's got plenty of options available, but he's going to go forward with this one. And it's won in the air by Darragh O'Shea. Headed down again, this time by Johnson. Forward to Liam Delap, but it looks like there has been a foul as Gabriel Jesus takes a bang in the eye from Ben Johnson. And it's going to be a free kick for Arsenal. 10 minutes to go till half-time. Arsenal 1, Ipswich 0. Just so you know, on the half-time break, we will be going on a break for 15 minutes. And we'll be back for the start of the second half. But for the time being, we've got a free kick to Arsenal. It's about 6 yards inside their own half of the field. As the referee is, for some reason, delaying matters at the moment. And Arsenal win the ball back. The referee had wanted to roll the ball over to Ben Johnson. And then once Johnson had the ball, it looked like Kai Havertz had just nipped in and won it back. And now the referee has stopped play again. And he's going to make them take it back and do this all over again. Not sure exactly what for. Ben Johnson now rolls the ball back this time to Luke Wolfenden, and Ipswich have possession of the ball. And here's Johnson now on the ball. And he's just trying to nip inside. He goes down on all fours. But Kai Havertz picks up the loose ball and gives it to Declan Rice. And it's now with Gabriel. Havertz. Saliba. Back to Havertz. And there's Timber. It's back with Saliba again, who goes all the way back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya releases the ball there to Gabriel. Gabriel's going to go long here over the halfway line. And that was Luke Wolfenden didn't time that very well. It nearly set up a breakaway for Arsenal. But fortunately, Greaves knocks it back into the Arsenal half of the field. David Raya has the ball right now, and he releases it to Timber, who gives the ball to Saliba, who gives the ball to Havertz, and Havertz goes all the way back. And here's Declan Rice. Saliba again. And Saliba on the edge of the 18-yard box just knocks the ball back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. And David Raya is just taking the ball outside of the 18-yard box at the moment. Arsenal really not putting any sort of strain on themselves right now. They're just stroking the ball around. And that's a long ball there by Gabriel looking for Martinelli. That was won down well that time by Greaves. Plays the ball forward, and here's Amari Hutchinson for Ipswich. Let's see whether Ipswich can do anything here. Amari Hutchinson, he's surrounded by Declan Rice and Gabriel Jesus. Amari Hutchinson goes down and has given a handball actually against Amari Hutchinson for falling on the ball there. And it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. Still 0-0 in the other game at the Amex Community Stadium. And here is Miles Lewis-Skelly for Arsenal. Drops the ball back to Gabriel. And Gabriel gives the ball to Saliba. Saliba midway inside his own half of the field. Just the one goal separating us right now. And that is the goal on 23 minutes by Kai Havertz. And of course, Arsenal have had the disallowed goal from Gabriel Jesus for offside. There was no question he was in an offside position. The run went way too early. Here's Gabriel to Saliba. Saliba just drops the ball back to Gabriel. And back to Saliba again. Saliba going for the long ball this time, looking for Jesus. And it's won by Leif Davis and cleared away by Jacob Greaves. Only as far as Timber, who heads it back into his own half, back to Leif Davis on this occasion. Picked up by Schmodix, who's dispossessed there by Martinelli. And finally, Martinelli just knocks the ball out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal. For Ipswich. We got 5 minutes to go until half-time, and we are still 0-0. We are still 1-0, I'm sorry. 1-0 to Arsenal with the goal on 23rd minute from Kai Havertz. Since then, Arsenal, apart from the disallowed goal, haven't created a great deal. In most of this first half, they really haven't. Ipswich really have parked the bus, so to speak. As Liam Delap goes down, he's now being helped back onto his feet. Looks like the striker just picked up a knock of some kind. He seems to be okay. He's actually making some complaint to the official, Darren England. And now Darren England is having to have a word with him. And I think Liam Delap is ready to let it go. And I think we're going to get the game back underway with a free kick here to Arsenal. I'm not sure what that was given for. I didn't really see an awful lot wrong with the challenge on either part, to be honest. Anyway, here is William Saliba. Saliba plays the ball over there to Kai Havertz. Havertz drops the ball back there to Gabriel. Gabriel across to Saliba. And the ball is played forward. Oh, nice turn by Miles Lewis-Skelly. Oh, that really was quality stuff. Miles Lewis-Skelly now. He's got Trossard on the left-hand side. Gives the ball back there to Declan Rice. Declan Rice swings the ball into the back post. Headed on by Martinelli. And finally hooked into the air there by Greaves. And Leif Davis now is putting Martinelli under pressure. And Martinelli runs the ball out of play. Or does they say play on. I thought that ball had gone out of play, but I think finally the official's flag has gone up. But just for a moment there, it looked like Arsenal had just got inside the defence one more time. It was once again great play by Trossard, swinging the ball in, but it just seemed to escape everybody. As we look again at Kai Havertz's goal, the only goal of the game so far. And Kai Havertz, you can celebrate that one, and that is his 7th goal of the season for Kai Havertz. So he's having a really good season for Arsenal, as he has since he's joined Chelsea. As he's joined from Chelsea, he's been a very, very good player for Arsenal. As a throw-in to be taken just inside the Ipswich half of the field. Arsenal have had 4 attempts. Ipswich have had none. 83% possession. This has basically been a one-way show in this first half. As here is Declan Rice. Declan Rice runs the ball out of play. It's going to be a throw-in for Ipswich. Midway inside the Arsenal half of the field. And just coming over to take this one is the Ipswich captain, Dara O'Shea. And he drops the ball, throws the ball back into his own half here to Luke Wolfenden, and he goes back to the goalkeeper, Murick. Murick lays the ball downfield. It's a header won by Declan Rice, and he heads it down to Martin Odegaard, who lays it back to Jurrien Timmer, who in turn goes back to Saliba. And now here's Gabriel. Gabriel drops the ball back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. Raya decides to go for a more direct route this time. Trying to win the header is Martinelli. He loses out to Leif Davis. Schmodix, almost dispossessed. In fact, he was there by William Saliba. Here's Havertz. Miles Lewis-Skelly. And here's Declan Rice. Lewis-Skelly again. He goes down under the challenge. And he's given a free kick as Darren England under the challenge from Phillips as we head towards the last stretch of this first half. Inside the last minute now, as that ball to Martin Odegaard is a bad one and it goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Ipswich Town. Well, still 1-0 to the Gunners, and at the moment, unless we see Ipswich progress forward, that's probably the way we are going to finish this first half. I don't suspect there'll be much stoppage time, maybe 2 minutes. Here's Odegaard, gives the ball to Declan Rice. Declan Rice, just midway inside the Ipswich half of the field. He gives the ball there to Leandro Trossard. Trossard holds the ball up, and he plays the ball across there to William Saliba. Saliba to Martin Odegaard, as Arsenal playing left to right across the width of the pitch so far. And here's Odegaard. Odegaard tries to play the ball to Jesus. Jesus just trying to create a bit of space for himself. Good ball across there to Trossard. Trossard to Declan Rice. Back to Trossard. Arsenal once again trying to break through here. And Leandro Trossard across to Odegaard, lifted the ball into the penalty area. It's bouncing around there before finally being cleared away there by Jens Kajuste. And we are now in stoppage time at the end of the first half, and there's only going to be 1 minute of it. As here's Declan Rice, drops the ball back there to Gabriel, and Declan Rice again. Trossard holds the ball up. As it's back with Declan Rice midway inside the Ipswich half of the field, across to Jurrien Timmer, down the right hand side to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard cutting into the middle and gives the ball to Declan Rice, across to Jurrien Timmer. Kai Havertz holds the ball up to the number 2 there, William Saliba. The cross coming in there by Miles Lewis-Skelly, but it escapes everybody. It does find Timmer near the corner flag. Timmer just moving away from Leif Davis and drops the ball to Kai Havertz. Havertz across there to Gabriel. We've played the minute of stoppage time now. The ball is with Saliba. And that's it. That's half time here at the Emirates Stadium. The goal on 23 minutes from Kai Havertz is the difference. A disallowed goal by Gabriel Jesus for offside. We've got a couple of people making comments in the comment section. So just before I go to the break, I'll read those out. Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming says, good evening, Paul and everyone. Nice to see more festive football action, especially as it's Arsenal tonight. I've got to say, though, I would have expected a lot more goals in the first half of this. I think we can credit Ipswich's defence for that. Ross says, good evening, everyone. Hope all is well. How's the game been tonight? So far, very one-sided, Ross. But Arsenal only to really able to create the one opportunity which they dispatched. So we're going to take a 15-minute break now for half time. We'll see you at the start of the second half. Welcome back to the start of the second half. The Ipswich Town team are already on the field. Arsenal just coming out of the tunnel themselves now for the start of this second half. And Arsenal with the 1-goal lead. It's a slender lead right now, but we're not seeing much from Ipswich in terms of going forward and creating chances. So we'll see whether that changes in this second half, as Arsenal players just doing a quick warm-up before they get the second half underway. We're also waiting for Darren England and his team of officials to come out. And Arsenal just doing one final preparation for the start of the second half. It doesn't look like any changes have been made. So what I'll do while we're waiting for Darren England to come out, we'll just run through the starting lineups for Arsenal. It's David Raya in goal, Miles Lewis-Skelly, Gabriel, William Saliba, Jurrien Timber, Kai Havertz, the goal scorer, Declan Rice, Martin Odegaard, Gabriel Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, and Leandro Trossard. For Ipswich, it's Ariane Muric, Leif Davis, Luke Wolfenden, Jacob Greaves, Darragh O'Shea, Jens Kajuste, Calvin Phillips, Sam Schmoddix, Amari Hutchinson, Ben Johnson and Liam Delap as the game is underway. And Sammy Schmoddix moving forward, trying to create something for Ipswich, but getting back and defending that very, very well was Jurrien Timber. And Arsenal now have the ball back. It's with Timber now for Arsenal. He's just turning away there from Schmoddix, and Schmoddix tries to lash the ball off Timber. Goes off the Dutchman and out of play for a throw-in for Ipswich. As we take a look at this early run by Ipswich, but nothing really in that. As the second half is underway here at the Emirates Stadium, and the ball has been given away there. Now Arsenal with a chance with Martinelli with a cross, and it's cleared away by Jacob Greaves, and Arsenal regain possession once again as the ball just seems to be being hacked away by Ipswich to being picked up by Arsenal. And now, though, Martin Odegaard has given the ball away, and let's see what Ipswich can do now with possession. And it's a good ball across there to Darragh O'Shea. O'Shea just holds the ball up, and it goes back to Luke Wolfenden. And here is Jacob Greaves. As now Ipswich have some time on the ball. As that's back to the goalkeeper by Kelvin Davis. This is really the most that we've seen Ipswich keep possession for the entire game. And that ball is played forward by Jacob Greaves. And Arsenal win the ball back in the midfield with Kai Havertz. Gives it to Declan Rice. And he slips the ball to Gabriel. Declan Rice to Kai Havertz. And here is Timber. Timber just drops the ball there to Saliba. Saliba across to Martin Odegaard. Streaming forward now is Martin Odegaard. Overlapping is Martinelli, but Odegaard is going on his own here. And his shot was blocked. And just for a moment, it was an inspired run by the Norwegian. And the ball is played forward now as Ipswich trying to break out of their defence. It's fouled by William Saliba on Liam Delap. But that was a superb run by Martin Odegaard. He picks up the ball just over the halfway line, makes an arrowing run towards the goal, and gets into the penalty area, gets the shot away. It was really well blocked by Jacob Greaves. And, that was Martin Odegaard at his very best. We've seen that from him so many times. Anyway, the free kick now, which Muric will take. And he goes long downfield, and that's just flicked on there. But he's offside, and that move comes to an end as Delap was in an offside position. So it'll be a free kick to Arsenal, just outside their own penalty area. It's back with David Raya now, who gives the ball to Saliba. Here's Lewis-Skelly. Back to the goalkeeper, David Raya, who clears it downfield to Gabriel Jesus. Laid off to Martin Odegaard again. Odegaard plays the ball forward to Gabriel Martinelli. And overlapping here right now is Gabriel Jesus. Jesus, corner of the penalty area, right hand side, gets across into Havertz. It's just over his head. Trossard with a shot, it's blocked. And it comes back down to Trossard again. Plays the ball into the area to Kai Havertz. Havertz back to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Across there to Declan Rice, to Odegaard. Tries to play the ball in the middle, but Jacob Greaves clears it away. Liam Delap trying to win this ball back ahead of Jurrien Timber. He does well to keep possession there, does Delap. It's a good strength by Delap. Plays the ball into the middle there to Kelvin Phillips. It's a good ball out onto the right-hand side there to Ben Johnson. And Ipswich now just looking a bit more threatening going forward, maybe. Here is Calvin Phillips across to Kajuste. And there's Greaves down to the left-hand side. And it's it's Leif Davis. Delap. This comes back to Greaves. And there's Wolfenden. And good ball there by Dara O'Shea to Amari Hutchinson. He's got Kajuste up there with him. Hutchinson, no, cutting into the penalty area. Can he get the cross in? He goes down under the challenge. They're appealing for a penalty, but it's surely in only hope than expectation. Amari Hutchinson goes down very, very easily there. And nothing given, says Darren England. And I doubt VAR will even look at this for more than a few minutes. Or a few seconds, I should say. Is Declan Rice across to Odegaard. Odegaard over the halfway line now. And he gives the ball to Declan Rice. Rice to Gabriel. Good play by Gabriel. Drops it back into his own half. Gives it to Saliba and across to Jurrien Timber. And now to Martin Odegaard now, who's breaking forward on another one of those runs. Plays the ball to Havertz and a quick one touch there by Odegaard. Across there to Gabriel. He just wanted to give the ball there to Trossard, but Trossard nearly overstepped the ball. Here's Miles Lewis-Skelly. And across there to Saliba. Saliba to Timber. Timber, good ball to Declan Rice. It's about 30 yards out, Rice. Oh, he goes down there. Surely that's a free kick. It's right on the edge of the penalty area. And, let's just take a look here. Caught there, just on the edge of the area. What a dangerous position this is for Arsenal. We see the foul taking place here. Yes, it's about 19 yards out, maybe 20. I'm going to say 19. It's very close to the edge of the penalty area. And already Odegaard is got his eye on this one. Declan Rice is there as well as Muric, just trying to line up his wall. It's just to the right side of the D. And it's going to be very difficult to lift it over the wall and get it down. I suspect this would more suit a left-sided player, really. Or sorry, a left-footed player, I should say, who may want to strike this one round the wall. But we'll see. There's four there: Odegaard, Martinelli, Rice, and Timber as well. As they're both talking amongst themselves. 5 men in the wall for Ipswich, leaving a gap there that Arsenal may try to exploit. Amari Hutchinson inviting him to shoot through that gap. Odegaard, got to be the favourite from this position. But we'll see. It may be Trossard. No, it's Odegaard, and it's blocked. There it's back with Amari Hutchinson. Plays it back to Leif Davis. Leif Davis clears away, but it's won back by Declan Rice. And here's Leandro Trossard. Flicks it over Amari Hutchinson. Brilliant play. Here is Odegaard. And it's now across to Kai Havertz. Havertz tries to play the ball through, but it's poor. And it's won back by Kajuste. Releases the ball to Amari Hutchinson, who is fouled, and it's going to be a free kick. And Kai Havertz is going to go into the referee's notebook for that foul on Amari Hutchinson. No attempt to win that ball whatsoever. So the first yellow card of this game goes to Kai Havertz. And here is Greaves, who gives the ball across there to Davis. Back to Greaves again. Greaves to Davis, Calvin Phillips, I should say, who drops the ball back to the goalkeeper Murick. And that's a long ball forward by Luke Wolfenden, looking there for Liam Delap. It came off Delap and went out of play. And it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal, which Miles Lewis-Skelly will take down this down this left-hand side for Arsenal, as it's dropped back by Gabriel to the goalkeeper David Raya. Well, one goal in this so far. Arsenal would dearly like a second and third, perhaps. Ipswich not pressing forward in very rare amounts in this game. The ball is long, looking for Gabriel Martinelli. It's over the top, but Gabriel Martinelli is alleged to have fouled Leif Davis there. There didn't appear to be much in that, I have to be honest. They didn't appear to be much in that at all, if I'm being honest. That's a poor decision that time by Darren England, it has to be said. We've had some more comments in the comment section. And I'm first of all going to get to some breaking news in a moment, which if you're in the live chat, you've probably seen. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says, on the positive side of things from an Arsenal perspective, we did get a goal, nearly got two, but it was offside and we didn't concede a goal. Obviously, I'm hoping for more in the second half. The breaking news coming out of Villa Park. Aston Villa can confirm that our decision to appeal John Duran's red card in our match with Newcastle United has been rejected. The player will now miss our next 3 matches. That's a statement coming out of Villa Park this afternoon. As the throw-in is going to be taken. Calvin Phillips just wins that, but Trossard wins the ball back. But there's a handball and it's going to be a free kick to Ipswich Town, which Calvin Phillips, it's about 8 yards, actually maybe about 15 yards actually if I'm guessing correctly, about 15 yards inside the Arsenal half of the field, and it's just down the Ipswich right hand side, and they're preparing to take this free kick. Perhaps they're going to go long. It's Luke Wolfenden with a free kick, launches it into the penalty area. The heads go up. It's just headed out, only as far as Jens Kajuste. Back to Wolfenden again as Ipswich trying to mount a rare attack in this game. It's Wolfenden takes it down to the right hand side, and he just tries to play the ball through there to Ben Davis, but that's really good work defensively by Miles Lewis-Skelly, but he's dispossessed there, and it's kept in by Amari Hutchinson. Amari Hutchinson gets across to the back post. Up in the air, it's headed back into the middle, and it's cleared away by Miles Lewis-Skelly, but only as far as Kelvin Phillips with a shot, and that's blocked by Declan Rice. But it's maintained possession here by Dara O'Shea. O'Shea plays the ball down to Ben Johnson, down the right-hand side. Across to Amari Hutchinson, who's going to swing this one in. Oh, that's poor control by Declan Rice that time, and he almost had possession back, but now Ipswich still has it. The cross coming in from Leif Davison. It was flicked on there by Kai Havertz, goes all the way over to the opposite side to Leandro Trossard. Trossard just drops it back there to Miles Lewis-Skelly, who gives the ball to Gabriel. Gabriel puts his foot through it. Dara O'Shea wins the header over Gabriel Jesus. And it looks like there's going to be a free kick. Jesus is down, and also Dara O'Shea is down. As we look again, as the two collide, it looked like Gabriel went into the side of Dara O'Shea there, Gabriel Jesus. So it looks like it is going to be a free kick to Ipswich again. It's full time at the Amex Stadium. Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Brentford 0 is the score there. So we've got 1 goal in our game. There was nothing in that, so I suppose we should be grateful for that. And the free kick is going to be taken by Calvin Phillips. And Arsenal with a pretty high line right on the edge of the D. And just standing over this one. I'm just trying to see, it's Calvin Phillips standing over this one. He's probably going to swing this one in. Phillips whips it in, and the heads go up, and it's a good defensive header by Kai Havertz, who diverts that behind for a corner ball. And it'll be the first Ipswich corner of the match with almost an hour gone. And we're just going to see who's going to go over there to take it. So it looks like it's Leif Davis. He's going to swing this one in. Greaves is in there. Darrett O'Shea is in there. Schmodix is in there. And also Jens Kajuste. This one is going to be launched in to see if Ipswich can get back in the game. It's a poor corner and it's headed out by Gabriel. Only as far as Amari Hutchinson. Drops the ball back to Wolfenden. Wolfenden, long ball forward, but it's a comfortable header back to the goalkeeper, David Rea, by Jurien Timber. And he's just going to take his time with this one. And he releases the ball there to William Saliba. Saliba holds the ball up. Back there to Timber. And across to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard has been quite adventurous with the runs in the second half. We may see more of them as time goes on. Declan Rice. Good ball across to Timber. Timber will drop the ball back to Odegaard. Odegaard has got options left and right. He may go back to Timber here. Indeed he does. Timber has got Kai Havertz alongside him. Havertz and Odegaard just knocking the ball around between themselves. As here's Odegaard again. Drops the ball back to Havertz. Havertz gives the ball to Saliba. Gabriel, one touch, but it's a poor ball. Only as far as Calvin Phillips. But the return ball from Kajuste was almost just as bad. But Amari Hutchinson saves it. And he lifts the ball forward. Chasing this one is Ben Johnson. And across it, though, is Gabriel. This is really good work by Gabriel as he just shields the ball going wide and allows the ball to roll wide. Great defensive work by Gabriel. And I don't think, at least from my perspective, you may have a different opinion in the chats, and that's fine. But Gabriel and William Saliba, in my opinion, are the best two defensive partners in the league at the moment. And that was good play by Gabriel. So Miles Lewis-Skelly and Kelvin Phillips clash and exchange words, and they're just being spoken to now by Darren England as they both shake hands, and the game will continue. Goal kick, which David Rea will take, and Rea just drops the ball to Saliba, who in turn gives the ball to Martin Odegaard, and off goes Odegaard. He's got options available left and right. He decides to go back to Saliba. Saliba to Gabriel, and here's Odegaard. Odegaard just plays the ball forward there for Kai Havertz, and that's Leandro Trossard. Back to Odegaard, back to Havertz. Can Havertz get the cross in here? Oh, it's a good piece of defending by Luke Wolfenden. Just gets across to make the challenge there. That was a really good play by Arsenal. Quick one-touch pass there by Odegaard to Havertz. Havertz tried to pull the ball across. Wolfenden was there, and it's going to be a corner for Arsenal. They defended, that's another thing really that Ipswich have done very well today. They've defended these Arsenal corners that we all know Arsenal have been very dangerous from all season long. They've defended them very, very well in this game so far. It's going to be taken by Declan Rice. It's a corner. It's going to be swung in one more time. It's crossed towards the back post. The header is in there. Oh, it was almost put in by Gabriel. And, well, he was coming up from the back post. You can just see it here. He just comes up towards the back post. And that is a gilt-edged chance by Gabriel. And one he most certainly should have scored. Oh, he'll look back on that. And he will regret that. That was a golden opportunity. The corner worked perfectly for Arsenal. Cross to the back post. Gabriel there, but was unable to turn the ball into the net. Oh dear. Here's Greaves for Ipswich. Across to Kajuste. Kajuste. And now it's with Ben Johnson as Ipswich attempting to capitalise on that missed opportunity. Here's Calvin Phillips. Kajuste. And Kajuste gets the ball back off Greaves. And really good pass there that time to Darrett O'Shea. Now here is the number 18, Omari Hutchinson. Back to Dara O'Shea, who in turn goes back to Luke Wolfenden, to the goalkeeper. Oh, nice turn there by Cajuste, and that's keeping possession well of Ipswich as McKenna is urging his players forward. The ball is played forward by Omari Hutchinson, but only as far as William Saliba in the end, and that chance breaks down for Ipswich, and Arsenal will regain possession back with William Saliba. And here is Martin Odegaard. He's fouled that time, and it's going to be a free kick. The foul by Leif Davis just catches the back of Odegaard's calf, and he's still down. It's Martin Odegaard, and Arsenal can ill afford any more injuries. What with Saka also now being out for quite some time, this is not in the least bit what Mikel Arteta wants to see. Davis gets a yellow card for that challenge, and he's the first Ipswich player to go into Darren England's notebook. And still down is Martin Odegaard. This is not good news, it has to be said. We'll see whether Martin Odegaard gets up or whether he needs to be replaced. He has had trouble with the ankle injury earlier on this season, where he was out for an extended period of time. He will not want any more trouble with that. Well, he's just taking a drink right now. He's having a physio. He's currently working on that at the moment. He will have to go off, of course, anyway, for a minute or two while they organise for the referee. Will allow him back on. Looks like he might be okay. He was just manoeuvring it, rotating it there. So we're still waiting for him to get on his feet. Kieran McKenna taking this opportunity, this timeout, to pass on some instructions to his players. Likewise, Mikel Arteta. Odegaard is back on his feet now, and it looks like he might be okay to continue. He'll just have to go off for a short period, I suspect, while they just the usual silly rule, and then he'll be allowed back on the pitch, I think. He's just making sure that it's not even being asked to leave the field, so the game will continue. It's a free kick for Arsenal. David Raya is standing over this one, and it's going to be right-footed downfield. Taking his time here, David Raya. Long ball downfield, looking for Havertz. Havertz heads the ball on. Cleared away there by Greaves. Headed down there by Gabriel, who was knocked over there. Here's Timber. Timber plays the ball there to Odegaard. Odegaard tries to play the ball through, but that's good defensive work by Ipswich, and that's played forward by Calvin Phillips to Omari Hutchinson, who drops the ball back to Dara O'Shea. Cajuste. Wolfenden. He goes back to the goalkeeper, Muric. Muric plays the ball. Oh, that's a poor ball right over the head of Leif Davis, and goes out of play for a throw-in to Arsenal as he's midway inside that Ipswich half of the field. And it is still 1-0 to Arsenal at the moment. And so far we haven't seen any substitutions from either side, which is also very interesting. Odegaard just gives the ball to Declan Rice. Odegaard drops the ball back there to Saliba. And Declan Rice drops the ball back to Saliba. And that's a good ball there to Gabriel. Gabriel plays the ball forward looking for Havertz, but that's a bit away from Havertz. And now Ben Johnson had the ball and has now just been nipped away from him by Leandro Trossard. Trossard finds Jurrien Timmer. Over to Martinelli. Martinelli tried to find Odegaard, but Odegaard was dispossessed comfortably that time by Greaves. Oh, that's a nice turn. And Ipswich coming forward now with Cajuste. Drops the ball back here to Wolfenden. Just trying to break forward Ipswich. Omari Hutchinson. Calvin Phillips. Greaves. And it's Wolfenden. Wolfenden just plays the ball across to Calvin Phillips. And it's just simple passing by those two. Calvin Phillips, former Leeds player. And it's cross there from Wolfenden to Greaves. Greaves to Davis. Played forward there. Oh, nice touch there by Schmodix. It's now back with Kajuste. Kajuste goes long. Look, it's a super ball to Ben Johnson. Here comes Ben Johnson now, and across there to Phillips. Hutchinson. Ipswich having a very long extended period of possession here as Greaves plays the ball out wide to Leif Davis. Leif Davis, corner of the penalty area, left-hand side. Gives the ball back to Kajuste. It's with Kelvin Phillips. And back there with Dara O'Shea. Phillips. Wolfenden. Kajuste. Greaves plays the ball back into his own half of the field to Wolfenden. As Arsenal pressing Ipswich back now, and in the end they go all the way back to Muric. Muric releases the ball there to Calvin Phillips. Super long ball by Calvin Phillips. Looking for the chasing Liam Delap. Delap now under pressure from Saliba. Good work by Saliba. Wins the ball off Delap and plays the ball there to Declan Rice, who drops the ball to Timber. Timber is tripped there by Amari Hutchinson, and it's going to be a free kick for Arsenal with 20 minutes left in this one. We've had a comment in the comment section. Media, Radio, Jingles and Gaming says, I probably wasn't expecting to say this, but Ipswich are creating some near chances. So we've got a substitute here. I'll come back to that. We've got a substitution here finally. I'll come back to that comment in a moment. Schmodix is coming off. And coming on. Let's see who's coming on for Ipswich. It's Jack Clark is coming on. So they're adding the additional forward here. So Clark is on. Also, Morena is preparing to come on looks like Gabriel Jesus is coming off, which means I suspect that Havertz will move forward into the number 9 role and Moreno will take his position. So Jesus is off, not being his day today. And Mikel Morena is coming on for Arsenal. So substitutions as follows. Sam Schmodix off. Jack Clark on for Ipswich. Gabriel Jesus off. Mikel Morena on for Arsenal. Well, we'll see how this all shakes things up. As the ball is cleared downfield by David Raya. And finally, Dara O'Shea wins that one and clears the ball up into the air, not entirely out there. And it's won back by Arsenal, and Havertz just drops the ball to Morena. Morena just plays it into the centre circle here to Gabriel, across to Declan Rice. Over on the far side there to Odegaard, and now with Kai Havertz, back to Odegaard. Odegaard got a bit of space in front of him. Odegaard, he skips into the penalty area. He's doing well here. Is Odegaard, cuts inside, gets a shot away, and it's just over the crossbar. He's saying it came off the goalkeeper last, but that is another scintillating move by Martin Odegaard. Just look at this. He takes the ball from 38 yards out, skips into the penalty area, beats one, beats two, and then gets a shot away. I don't know if it does come off the goalkeeper or not. It might do, actually. It looks like the goalkeeper got a fingertip there, Muric. It's a good save by him. But Martin Odegaard showing once again how dangerous he can be from these positions. And the corner is going to be taken. Normally this would be Saka territory. But of course, with Saka being injured, just trying to see who's gone over there to take it. It might be Odegaard himself. Yes, it is. It's Martin Odegaard to take the corner ball here. And it's going to be whipped in to Rice with a shot. Oh, super save. Oh, that was a beautiful corner by Martin Odegaard. Straight to Rice. Hit it perfectly on the volley. And that stayed out as Arsenal now storming forward again. Here's Morena. Tries to get the cross in, but it's blocked and it goes behind for another corner. And that really, really caught Ipswich out, that move. Brilliant play by Odegaard. Struck in And it was actually Darragh O'Shea that got the final touch there, not the goalkeeper. He almost took it in a very awkward place, right between the meat and two veg. Nick says, how close was that from Rice? But that really was a super move, caught Ipswich off there. Odegaard is going to get another chance now, as this one is going to be swung in, leaving a little confusion in the Ipswich defence on how Arsenal are going to play this. And the corner is swung in, this time towards the back post, headed out by Darragh O'Shea, only as far as Gabriel. Back to Odegaard again. Odegaard skips into the penalty area, and that's a good challenge that time by Jens Kajuste. But that was very, very close by Arsenal. The ball is played out to Odegaard now. Odegaard plays it in to Declan Rice, across to Moreno. Moreno lifts it into the penalty area, and there's Moreno again. Is it going to go in? No, it just goes the wrong side of the post as far as the Spaniard is concerned. And Havertz was in there too. The header by Trossard, and it was Havertz, I think, with the final touch. And it just goes wide as Havertz was seeking his second goal there. But I'll just go back to the comment that was made by Media Radio Jingles and Gaming. I probably wasn't expecting to say this, but Ipswich are creating some very near chances, and of course a strong defence easily stopped Arsenal's chances, so I just hope Arsenal don't concede. I've got to say some of these teams in the relegation zone are creating some shock performances, like Wolves' game against Manchester United. So we'll wait and see how all that plays out today. But at the moment, Arsenal not looking like they're going to concede right now, but we'll wait and see how all of that plays out. It's a throw-in which Miles Lewis-Skelly will take down the left-hand side. And it goes back to the goalkeeper, David Raya. We have 15 minutes to go in this one. It's still on a knife edge at 1-0, really. If Ipswich do get a break and can score, well, that would give them a valuable point that they so desperately need. Odegaard across there to Jurrien Timber. Back to Odegaard. Odegaard plays the ball to Gabriel Martinelli. Back to Odegaard again. It's a good play by Martin Odegaard. Plays the ball across there to Mikel Moreno. Moreno gets a shot away. Great save by the goalkeeper. And just bounced away from Leandro Trossard. And it was a good save by Muric, as once again, it all starts with Martin Odegaard. Again, this time he has a shot this time and it goes away. This second half really has been Martin Odegaard at his very best. Just creating these little opportunities. And this one for Moreno this time, it was a good save by Muric. And he did very well to get it out of the danger zone as well, with Leandro Trossard lurking there as well. And Media Radio Jingles and Games says he just hopes it finishes, the scoreline remains the same, so Arsenal get the points. Well, at the moment, like I said, Ipswich not looking like they're going to score, but of course it only takes that one chance. And here's Clark, or Clark leaves it rather, for Leif Davis. And cutting inside is it's a good ball there, played there by Clark, but that was intercepted by Kai Havertz. And there is Leandro Trossard, who just gets the ball back to Gabriel. And the ball is now with Martin Odegaard again, and he plays the ball across here as Arsenal looking there with Jurrien Timber. Odegaard back again, just inside the Ipswich half of the field, played to Morena. Good ball out wide here to Trossard. Trossard steps back and it's giving it to Gabriel. Gabriel to Declan Rice and across to Martin Odegaard. Odegaard tried to find Kai Havertz. Just for once, his pass was wayward that time. Leif Davis plays the ball forward, looking for Jack Clark. But it's won back comfortably by Jurrien Timber. Gives it to Morena. And it's now with Odegaard again. Back to Timber. Timber to Morena. Tried to play Martinelli through, but that was well blocked. And now Clark is coming away. It's Jack Clark for Ipswich Town over the halfway line. It's got Liam Delat forward with him. Good ball to Amari Hutchinson. Joining the attack is Calvin Phillips, and the referee has stopped play for some reason. And Martin Odegaard is down with a facial injury, and that's why it's stopped. Mike Harneman says, hi, Paul, 1:50 a.m. in Dubai. We are flying back tomorrow, and I've got a long day ahead. Couldn't miss the game. Been very poor here, definitely from a vintage Arsenal. Need to get that second goal. I agree with you, Mike. They've not been at their best, but I would say that this is probably because Ipswich have parked the bus for the most part, and they have found it very difficult to break them down. But we'll see as triple substitution now coming up for Ipswich. Oh, what fun. Just give me a second while I work out how these. Al Hamidi is one of the guys coming on. We'll get them all in a moment for you. And also Nathan Blackhead, or Broadhead, I should say. We'll get them all in a moment for you. Liam Delap is also coming off. So Johnson, Kajuste, and Delap are off. And Broadhead, Taylor, Jack Taylor, that is, and Al Hamidi are coming on. So Johnson, Delap, and Kajuste are off, and coming on is Jack Taylor, Ali Al Hamidi, and Nathan Broadhead are the ones on for the Tractor Boys. So that is their second, third, and fourth substitutions for Ipswich as they look to get back into this game. It's a long ball over on the far side to Hutchinson. Down that right hand side now is Amari Hutchinson. He's got in front of him there Miles Lewis Skelly. He drops the ball back there to Jack Taylor, but that ball goes out of play, and it's going to be a throw-in for Arsenal as we go into the last 10 minutes, and in about 8 or 9 minutes time I am going to have to be naming my player of the match today. I've got 1 or 2 names in mind, but we'll see how it will. I'll announce it in due course. And here's Miles Lewis Skelly with a throw-in. It's headed on that time by Dara O'Shea. And here's Gabriel Martinelli now. He's looking to break away from O'Shea. Martinelli has got O'Shea tracking him, but also alongside him there is Jacob Greaves. But Martinelli has gone down, and it looks like he's clutching his ankle. He doesn't look in a great deal of contentment there. Let's look at that. Oh, he was just caught around the side of the ankle. That is a pretty painful area to be caught in. But it's going to be a free kick to Arsenal. And Leandro Trossard, which is in this situation, it's virtually as good as a corner, really, for Arsenal. We know what they can do from these situations. Skirvish line on the edge of the 6-yard box for Ipswich to try to prevent the Arsenal players from storming in on Muric. Declan Rice is going to take this free kick. Gabriel just trying to get away from Al Hamidi. And he's just trying to shove away Al Hamidi at the moment, but he's just not able to do that. The cross coming in towards the back post, but Muric plucks it out of the air with ease. And he'll just allow everything to just calm down a bit before he releases Amari Hutchinson. And it's back with Dara O'Shea. Hutchinson again. And back to the goalkeeper, cleared downfield by Muric. Oh, failure to bring that ball under control really by Jack Clark that time. But Ipswich coming forward now with Leif Davis. Drops the ball back there to Jack Taylor. Taylor gives the ball to O'Shea. O'Shea down the right-hand side to Amari Hutchinson as Ipswich looking for the equaliser now. Hutchinson again. Drops the ball to O'Shea, back into the centre circle there to Luke Wolfenden, and across to Greaves. Wolfenden. 7 minutes to go in this one. It's Arsenal 1, Ipswich Town 0. At full time, I'll give you a comprehensive scores of the Premier League from yesterday and today before we wrap up the show. And just to let you know, we're back on air on Sunday, the 29th of December. We're bringing you action from Goodison Park as Everton take on high-flying Nottingham Forest. And the ball is with Wolfenden here. I'll bring you coverage of that game. And then also on the 30th, we have action between Newcastle United and Manchester United as well. So that's what's coming up on the channel in the next few days. As Broadhead lays it across there to Calvin Phillips, across to Greaves. Good extended bit of possession this by Ipswich. Cut inside there by Davis, but that was won back by Odegaard, who releases the ball to Martinelli. Martinelli holding up the ball. He's under pressure there from Jack Clark, but good work by Martinelli. He just drops the ball back there to Gabriel, and here's Martinelli again. Time ticking down at the Emirates Stadium. And Arsenal will probably be looking at maybe one more goal if they can, but I think at the moment you're starting to really look at game management time, because we've got about 5 minutes left in this one, and it is still 1-0 to Arsenal. Here's Odegaard, and it's a ball across to Gabriel. 40 touches in the opposition box for Arsenal. Only 3 for Ipswich Town. That's how this game has progressed today as a whole. Odegaard just drops the ball back to Timber, who gives the ball to Saliba. Saliba. Back to Gabriel. And Arsenal looking... Mike Harneman says we can see we're really missing Saka already. He'll be back in due course too. And Mike is at home and settled. He'll be at home and settled in by then. Here's Havertz, and it's now with Gabriel. Gabriel, good ball to Miles Lewis-Skelly. Oh, plays it just down the left-hand side to Trossard. Can Trossard get a cross in here? No, that's really good defensive work by Amari Hutchinson, just shielding Leandro Trossard out there, and the ball goes behind as Thomas Partey is now readying himself to come on, and I suspect this may be for Odegaard. No, it is in fact for Declan Rice. So Declan Rice is the one making way, and he will be coming off, and Thomas Partey will be coming on for the Gunners. As they are looking to see this one home, and I'm just going to pass on to my producer Nick the player of the match, which is a secret until I release it. Okay, and the ball is played forward there, and it's won back by Leandro Trossard, but he gives the ball away here to Al Hamadi, and it's picked up by Taylor, and the ball is across there to the other Taylor, Jack Taylor, and winning the ball back is Leif Davis under pressure as he tries to, but he's actually fouled Jurriën Timber, and it's going to be a free kick. Well, we have just 3 minutes left of the game here at the Emirates Stadium, and Ipswich, well, they've not really put David Raya under any sort of pressure really throughout the entire game, and have never really looked like scoring. But they have defended very, very well and made it very difficult for Arsenal all the way through this game. And I think Arsenal should be really glad at this point just to see it home. Liverpool have a game in hand, and with a 6-point advantage, I would say Liverpool still hot favourites for the title. But Arsenal, they need to keep on winning, and that starts today. And throw in to Ipswich Town to be taken quickly here. I'm trying to see who's taking that over on the far side. I think it's Liam Delap. And Kai Havertz there, who's had an impressive game today himself. And you can see he cuts. This is the ball that come across from Trossard and Havertz. It was a goal you would expect him to score, but one thing Kai Havertz does very well is he gets himself into wonderful positions in order to make those chances look very easy. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says I can easily say this has not been one of Arsenal's best performances, but they haven't conceded yet, and we're almost at the full-time mark. Well, here it's here is Taylor now going forward. It's Nathan Broadhead now down the left-hand side. Broadhead cutting inside, and he gives the ball to Calvin Phillips. Phillips plays the ball out onto the right-hand side to Dara O'Shea. As Ipswich looking now to press for an equaliser. The next stoppage in play, I will give the player of the match. As here is Luke Wolfenden. Ipswich trying to create something, trying to get a chance to get back into this game. Greaves. Good ball there to Jack Taylor. His shot is blocked by Thomas Partey and cleared away by Miles Lewis Skelly, only as far as Hutchinson. Now down the right-hand side. Hutchinson drops the ball back there to Dara O'Shea, and it's now with Hutchinson again. Hutchinson, can he get the cross in? He does towards the back post, and David Raya gets up and clutches that out of the air. So today's player of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, I've decided to go with Arsenal's number 8, Martin Odegaard, as the player of the match. I know he wasn't involved in the goal, he didn't score the goal, but his second half performance has created additional chances for Arsenal, and his performance as a whole has been excellent tonight. So today's man of the match, as sponsored by Commentary Services, goes to Arsenal's number 8, Martin Odegaard. As we hit the 90-minute mark now, and there's going to be 4 minutes of stoppage time at the end of this one. Here comes Gabriel Martinelli. Goes towards the corner with Leif Davis over there challenging in him. And it's going to be a throw into Arsenal. Still only the one goal separating the two sides. And Mike Harneman says, Lewis Skelly has impressed me today. If I was to give a player of the match, it would be him. He's done a good job. Timmer has done well today too. So, feel free to just pop in the comment section who you think your player of the match should be. I'll be happy to read them out if I can. We're not all going to agree, of course. Harry Clark has just come on now for Ipswich. And I'm just trying to see who that substitute is for. I'll get that for you in a moment. And the ball is cleared forward and it's headed down there by the number 16, Ali Al-Hamadi. But Martinelli has just won the ball back and he's kept the ball in play there. And he gives it to Odegaard. Thomas Partey picks it up. And Partey just drops the ball back goes all the way back to the goalkeeper. And cleared downfield. The latest substitute, Luke Wolfenden, is the man being replaced, and Harry Clark is the one coming on. So that's his substitutions up to date there, as that ball is won well by Harry Clark. And but only as far as Jurriën Timmer. Clark wins it back again. Good play by Harry Clark. And he tries to play the ball forward, but there was nobody up there. And it goes back all the way through to David Ray, who just allows it to roll into his 18-yard box. And then he just picks the ball up as time ticking down here now with 2 minutes of stoppage time left in this game. And you have to say at this point, it's looking very much like an Arsenal victory as the ball is cleared downfield. And it's cleared away again, though, this time again by Clark, but it's there's going to be a free kick, I think, because down on the field there is Greaves. As we just take a look, it looks like Kai Havertz had just gone into the back of him. It didn't look like there was much in it to me, but that is that's what's happened. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says, I think from my point, Jurriën Timmer has played well and put on a performance today. Ross says, from what I've heard tonight, great commentary, PJ. Thanks very much. I appreciate that. Here is the goalkeeper here, Muric, getting forward and launching the ball downfield. The header is won by Gabriel. It goes all the way back, though, to Amari Hutchinson. Hutchinson sitting inside 2 or 3 Arsenal players. Good ball there, and the pass from Broadhead. And Amari Hutchinson tries to play the ball through there to Jack Taylor, but now Arsenal are on the break instead, and that's a fine challenge by Dara O'Shea, and Ipswich win the ball back. We've got a minute and a half left here of stoppage time, and here's Leif Davis, gives the ball to Kelvin Phillips. Kelvin Phillips again, just drops it back there to Dara O'Shea, and across there to the number 2, Harry Clark. Clark holds the ball up, and it's a long ball there back from Kelvin Phillips all the way over on the far side to Leif Davis. Leif Davis drops it back to Jacob Greaves. It's Davis again, and here's O'Shea. We've got 1 minute of stoppage time left as Ipswich looking to grab a reprieve at the very last. Here's Amari Hutchinson. Cuts inside, gives the ball to Broadhead. Broadhead skips away, tries to get a shot away. Broadhead, it's deflected, and it's bouncing around there and going down under the challenge of Ali Al-Hamadi. And there was going to be a VAR check here for a possible penalty. Let's have a look at this again. And it might be for the handball on Kai Havertz, I think. Let's have a look. Well, he had his hands behind his back. Surely you can't give a penalty for that. But it looks like VAR are looking at that. But no, it's come back as no penalty. And in fact, the full-time whistle has gone. And Arsenal have run out 1-0 winners at home against Ipswich. Certainly not the most convincing performance, but Kai Havertz's goal on 23 minutes is enough as Arsenal run out winners 1-0 against Ipswich Town. And before we wrap up tonight, I'm just going to read out some comments. Question for you, Paul. Do you think Timmer keeps his place when White is back? And also the same regarding Calafiori and Lewis Skelly. Well, both have played well, Mike. It's a really tough call to make, is that. I think Calafiori might get in ahead of Lewis Skelly. But I could very well see Timmer holding that right-back position. And Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says there are quite a few other Arsenal players that have played well. And also says, quite like your opinion for man of the match, Mike, as Lewis Skelly has also performed quite well. Mike agrees with me, no chance you can give that. It was a very quick VAR check by the looks of it. And Mike says we were clinging on, though. It wasn't the most convincing performance by Arsenal at all today. Not by any stretch of the imagination. But let's go through the Premier League scores from yesterday before we wrap up. And they are as follows. Manchester City 1, Everton 1. Bournemouth 0, Crystal Palace 0. Chelsea 1, Fulham 2. Newcastle United 3, Aston Villa 0. Nottingham Forest 1, Tottenham 0. Southampton 0, West Ham 1. Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, Manchester United 0. And from today, we have Brighton 0, Brentford 0. And Arsenal 1, Ipswich Town 0. And those are the Premier League scores. We are back on the air again, by the way, in a couple of days' time from Goodison Park, where Everton hosts the Hot Shots of Nottingham Forest. Also on the 30th of December, we are bringing you Newcastle versus Manchester United as well. Look forward to bringing those games to you. Media Radio Jingles and Gaming says, even though it has not been the best performance by Arsenal, I have to agree with Ross to say your commentary has been absolutely great, Paul. Even though you probably had some nerves as you are. Yeah, I had one or two. Enjoyed listening to that, Paul. Great commentary. Thanks, Mike. Also an Arsenal fan. The commentary has been superb tonight. Yes, I tried to remain entirely neutral all the way through that. I do my best at doing that. I try not to be biased when I'm commentating. Okay, folks. Well, thanks very much for listening. To all of you who took the time to listen and to comment. Mike, Ross, Media Radio Jingles and Gaming, thank you all very much for taking time out of your busy schedules to listen to this game today. We hope you enjoyed it, and please join us again on the 29th for Everton versus Nottingham Forest. Bye for now.